Arcade Heroes.
It's Adam with ArcadeHeroes.com, and for this video I'm checking out Wallop and Sega Amusement International's Jet Blaster. And as you can see, it is a personal watercraft simulator, racing game of course, and has a sit-down controller designed to mimic that pretty closely. It uses a motion system which is actually quite convincing. Granted, I'm not like a big jet skier. In fact, I only really used one once. That was years ago when I was able to use one that my aunt had on a lake. But yeah, the motion on this was actually quite realistic. It has that kind of bouncing feel to mimic that bounciness you get on the water. But anyways, for the game, as you can see there, you first choose one of 5 characters. Each one has different stats. They each have their weaknesses and their strengths, of course. And then it sees if there's anybody linking up. Handle up to 4 units at once, but the show only had 2, which is fine. And then you get to racing. Now, each course is full of obstacles, which are mainly other little boats and other watercraft, and you also have to go through these little green gates as you race along. It all takes place in pretty exotic looking environments, but you have jumps that you can occasionally go off of and pull off stunts, which it does automatically. There's nothing you have to push that to happen. One thing I was a little confused about that I didn't quite catch was the drift system. It would say drifting, but I guess it didn't feel like drifting. Granted, it's not supposed to feel like drifting a car or anything when you're on the jet ski quite like that, but physics are a little bit different. But also, as you saw there, what you can do when you come across these tunnels is choose your path. At first I didn't realize that's what it was, and when I just saw easy and hard, I was thinking maybe I had to do something with the time and the checkpoint, and it just gave you more time if you took the easy one. But soon realized, okay, this is a branching path system, kind of like Outrun. And so that gives it a total of 6 levels to experience in these exotic locations. And I ended up, for both of the races that you're going to see here, just going all hard on the path. Didn't want to take it easy. Now, this was the first time I played the game. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I mean, we haven't had a game exactly like this in a long time. Last time I can find a jet ski style racing game would be Sega's Wave Runner GP from 2003. But that's a pretty rare game. I've never seen one in person, and I had to look it up to be sure. Because the first game that came to my mind was Namco's Aquajet. That was 1996. Actually, the FEC I used to work in had one. But I don't recall the motion on that being quite like this. But it still had a cool controller, again, from what I recall. It's also been many years since I've seen one of those. But yeah, this one's available now, I believe, and so you might be able to find it at arcades out there. And for arcades that want to add a motion simulator to their thing, and what I was saying there was I was off by a few microseconds, and so I barely missed getting first place. Yeah, it was like, gosh, that was 7 microseconds, I believe, difference between me and the first place one. So that sucked. But oh yeah, one thing that I almost forgot to mention as part of this being a simulator game is that little hole on the front, the kind of glowing red one. That's a wind blower to create a nice little wind effect when you're flying along. But yeah, this is... oh yeah, if you continue, it allows you to have an upgrade to your watercraft, so you can have more speed or something, but you can pick a different character. And it also has leaderboards, thankfully. Still going to complain about any games that remove them, because we've seen that become more common in recent years, with fewer arcade games having leaderboards, which kind of removes some of the incentive to be playing them and be competitive and trying to best your own high score. But fortunately, I mean, it's a racing game, so of course it should have leaderboards. If they start removing leaderboards from racing games, then we're in trouble. But yeah, I'm gonna play through another round here just as a different character. Just figured I'd try and see if there's much of a difference in that and maybe get first place. You can keep watching if you care and you're interested. But again, if these sorts of games are up your alley, then here you go. I mean, other than the Wave Runner GP game that I mentioned earlier, the last time we had a water racing game, to be specific, that I can recall, there was H2 Overdrive in 2009, and that did cause a few developers out there to make sort of similar things. Like it was, I can't remember the name of the company. I think it was Simuline. Created their own Aqua Race game, but that thing was a simulator, but it was enormous. It was something like $30,000. Although I do have to admit, it had the most convincing wind and water spray system, immersion system I've ever experienced on a game. So they nailed that part right, but the game itself, as I recall, wasn't very good. And they obviously spent most of their R&D and development dollars and time on the hardware side and not so much the video game side. But I can't remember if there's been many others that didn't come out of China anyways. Of course this one did, that's where Wallop's from. But yeah, this is a cool little game, so nice to see Sega picking this up, adding it to their roster. But I've got plenty more videos for my APA to come, and so thanks for watching this one. Still got a few minutes before I reach the end here, but I'll shut up now and just let you enjoy. So thanks for watching.